for someone if they don't get a healthy kidney. So I had the opportunity to save someone's life. We have many, many people from the community that have done this, and many people that have tried to do it. Unfortunately, they were not able to do it. And we should know that only 30% of the people that actually test can pass their testing to become a kidney donor. So Renewal is an organization that really was not on the map, in our community at least, just a few years ago. And in the last couple of years, we have facilitated about 100 transplants in our community alone. It's a lot of transplants. Not that all of a sudden everybody started needing kidneys. People needed kidneys from a long time ago. They just never knew where to go, and they would end up on dialysis, and that would be the end of their life on dialysis. Unfortunately, just some statistics that you should know, people that are on dialysis after 5 years, 72% of the people on that machine are no longer alive. So it's pretty much knowing that this is time to wrap it up when you go on that machine. It keeps you alive. It's important to have it, very, very important. And we tell people that just stay on it until we can find you a kidney. Many people, we try to get them before they go on dialysis because they dread that fear. As a matter of fact, I've been called to many houses, unfortunately, of where people refuse to go back to the machine. They say it's hell on earth, they're not going to go back, and they'd rather die than go back to that machine. And literally have to go there and convince them to go to the machine and hold their hand, take them to the dialysis center, sit with them for a couple hours to get them through the treatment. It's not an easy treatment. It's 3 times a week, 4 hours at a time. If you're a husband, you can't work, who's going to hire you for 3 hours a day, 2 days a week? And if you're a housewife, imagine taking care of your kids, come home, take care of your kids, school, homework, taking care of the house. It's virtually impossible. So it's not a life for anybody. So we're here. First of all, I'd like to thank the Heaney family for opening up their house to us, to help us find the kidney for Uzi, who I became very, very close with over the last couple of months. And he is in desperate need of a kidney failure. He suffers, God forbid, we should never know from him, but he suffers from a disease called PKD, polycystic kidney disease, which is a kidney where cysts develop around the kidney and pretty much suffocate the kidney so that it can no longer function. So people think that when you have a disease such as this, so it'll affect one kidney and you still have another kidney left over that can function. It's incorrect. Any person that suffers from kidney disease, it attacks both kidneys at the same time. The 3 main causes of kidney disease is diabetes, hypertension, and PKD. The next one on the list is medication. People that are on a lot of different medications. Medications some go through the kidney and some go through the liver. The ones that go through the kidney take a toll on the kidney and wear down the kidney. And after time, through those medications, people suffer from kidney failure. In our community, we've had cases of PKD. Unfortunately, it's hereditary. And I'm working on a case right now in the community right now where there's 3 people from the same family, 3 siblings that all need kidneys. So it's not an easy task to find the kidneys, but Hashem, we found one already for the sister. The brother, Bezat Hashem, will be getting a kidney in another month or so. And then we have the 3rd sister who's on the initial stages of the PKD, and we'll probably hopefully find a kidney for the first 6 months. People that are suffering from this terrible disease, on the national list is about 110,000 people suffering from it. They wait between 7 and 9 years to get a kidney. The books say 5 to 7, but it's up to 7 to 9 years to get a kidney. Most of them never see that time because they're already on dialysis, and we don't know the statistics on dialysis. Our goal is to get somebody with a kidney within the first year that we meet them. Matter of fact, the organization Renewal, which has been spoken about in Congress now at this point because they're trying to get other organizations to emulate what we're doing, but it's impossible. Nobody's like the Jewish people. Nobody's coming forward to give their kidneys. They cannot duplicate it. It's impossible. We've been interviewed by Duke University to try to do a study on us. Nobody can do what we're doing. Renewal is an organization, like I said, that has broken many, many records. We've done transplants for 83-year-old people. 83-year-old people that go to hospitals and tell them, have a seat. You're never going to get transplanted. Have your family say goodbye because it's all over. People from our community that have gone to transplants, that are in their 80s. We've had the fastest transplant. Matter of fact, the wife of the husband that got the fastest transplant is sitting in the back. The fastest transplant in history from the time that he was cleared for transplant, 35 days. He got a kidney transplant from the time that he was cleared, 35 days. Record break. We've done many children. Unfortunately, children that are born with kidney disease, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. Not easy to find a kidney for a 2 or 3-year-old, I can tell you that much. But we've done children, So I'm here to educate you about what it is to be a kidney donor. Hopefully in this room, we'll have a few people. We have swab kits over here, which we can check your DNA, check your blood type. You can also check what your HLA is. HLA is your antibodies, to see if you're a match for Uzi. And even if you're not a match for him, maybe you'll go into our system and you'll do what they call a swap. You don't match him, but you match somebody else. Somebody else is testing for somebody else. They don't match that person, and we swap the people. We end up doing 2 transplants, sometimes 3, 4 transplants. 4 people are in a swap team. We do swaps, and everybody ends up getting the transplant that they need. What's the downside of donating a kidney? There's one major downside. You can't do it again. You can only do it once. Once you give up your kidney to somebody else, you need your other kidney for yourself. You only need 25% of one kidney to function properly. So therefore, people worry, if I give up my kidney and now I only have one kidney left, what if I go through kidney failure, I gave away my kidney? Not true. If you're going through kidney failure, God forbid, you gave away both your kidneys when you gave away one kidney, because it's going to affect both kidneys anyway. Besides the fact that you gave up your kidney to someone moves you to the top of the list. So God forbid, if you ever needed a kidney, you would now be on the top of the list, the first one to get a kidney, to receive one. So there's a lot of benefits of donating a kidney. Of course, you're going through a surgery, which is not easy. The surgery takes about 2.5 to 3 hours, the process of the surgery. Recovery, you gotta go through recovery, you're gonna be out of work, be out of housewife duties, whatever it might be. You'll be out of work for about 2 weeks. Of course, Renewal will reimburse you for all of your wages that you lost. We need to fly donors in from wherever they're coming from. Matter of fact, we had a transplant today. We flew a donor in from Israel. He came in from Israel. The transplant was canceled this morning. He was here on the table, ready to go in with the IV. The doctor said he had a cold. We're not ready. We're going to postpone it for another week. He has to stay in for another week. But we do whatever expense that it is. We have to put him up, take care of him, whatever it is. It's not a problem. Renewal will absorb all of the expenses that it takes for someone to donate a kidney. People think that if they donate a kidney, they can no longer play ball. They can no longer drink. Drinking goes through your liver. It doesn't go through your kidney. It doesn't affect it at all. You can eat anything that you want. It's not like a recipient. Recipient is on a special diet. Recipient has to be very careful for who they associate themselves with for the first few months, because of the antibodies are being measured by their anti-rejection medication. So therefore, they're not on the top of their game. You have to be careful of little children that have colds, because they can be infected by that. The biggest fear that we have is that someone that just received the kidney, they feel great because they got new life. It's exactly what they got. It's the gift of life. They got a new life, and they feel they can do anything. And therefore, they go to parties, they go out to buttocks, they go to a lot of things, and they don't realize that their immune system has been compromised, and then they end up back in the hospital because they had infections that they have to be careful for. But we're not going to deal with that at this point, because Uzi is going to be a good boy. We told him, once you get your kidney, you're going to be on the house arrest for a couple of months, and give you a chance to recuperate. There's a lot of people that want to know what's about an age. How old can you be to be a kidney donor? Legally, 18 years old. Renewal won't take anybody that's less than 21. We feel that someone that's 21 years old is someone that can really think about what they're doing. An 18-year-old kid might be excited, might want to do it, but we feel by the time you're 21, you gave good thought whether or not you should be able to do this. Do you have to be married? The answer is no. This man right here donated his kidney when he was 21 years old. He was not married. He is married now, but he gave his kidney to someone he didn't know.
Wow.
When he was 21 years old. You don't have to be married, but it's a good sign to get you married. If you're not married, you probably will get married after you donate your kidney, that's for sure. Matter of fact, we had 2 kidney donors that were both not married.
He won't let me do it.
They were both not married. We sent them on a trip to Cleveland, not to go on a trip together. We had a transplant in Cleveland, and we sent him to take care of the male recipient and her to take care of the female donor. They met them, and then they got married. What about pregnancy? Women want to know, will I be able to get pregnant after I donated my kidney? 100% yes. Matter of fact, we've had women that were not able to get pregnant. Once they donated a kidney, they had a better time, they were able to have children. How old can I be? We broke the record for that as well. Renewal had a 77-year-old donor. That's the oldest donor in history. Altruistic donor, 77 years old, came from Renewal. As a matter of fact, I think she's in that book that you have in front of you. Wow. So there's a lot of different questions that people have. Age. One of the biggest obstacles we have, believe it or not, is the spouse. A lot of husbands want to give, and their wives say, no way, there's no way you're going to give away your kidney. And a lot of wives want to give, and the husband won't allow. Usually, in most cases, it's the wife that won't allow the husband to give the kidney. For some reason, they want everything the guy has. You have two, I want both of them. And I'm not exactly sure how that works out, but it's an obstacle that we definitely need to face. And it's something that we always tell the husband, make sure your wife's on board. Matter of fact, we have to, when somebody comes in that wants to be a donor, we make them come, the husband and the wife together, come together, make sure everybody's on board to donate the kidney. So, if we have somebody in this room that is interested, even in the questions, you want to take a test, let me just see if I can qualify, let me see if I can match. We definitely have the swab kits here, the questionnaires that you can fill out. I'm sure there are questions in the room that people might have. What does it entail to be a kidney donor? You should know one thing. Whether or not you want to be a kidney donor, if you say that you do want to be a kidney donor, you're going to have the best physical you've ever had in your life. The toe, you go through EKGs, CAT scan, body scans, MRIs, check every part of your body. We've had people that Lord never knew that they had, some people had cancer. They didn't know they had cancer. We found cancer in some people. We had some people that they didn't know they only had one kidney. One every 700 people born with one kidney. People wanted to donate their kidneys, they only found they only had one to give. They had nothing to give away. So you get the best physical you could ever want. But the one thing's for sure, that there is a beracha when you have a chance to save someone's life. And the people that are here today are here not because you came for the dessert table. You came here to hear about it. You came to get more information to help save this man's life. This man is going to go on dialysis, God forbid, if he doesn't get a kidney. And I can tell you one thing. I've spoken to him many, many times. One thing he dreads is going onto that machine. He says, I'm not going on that machine. I will not go on the machine. I said, if you don't want the machine, it can't keep you alive. He said, okay, I'd rather die than go on the machine. So we're really up against the clock. We need to find somebody. We will do it quick. We will hold your hand, the whole with you every single time that you go. And again, we will reimburse you for any expense you might have. It could be an Uber. You need to take an Uber from here to the city. We'll pay for everything that you need. Then it'd be not $1 out of your pocket that you have to worry about. But we need to find a donor for Uzi, and we need to find somebody quick. And I'm sure that it's either one of the people in this room. It doesn't always come from the people that come to the meetings. We did this for Ralph. We had 50 people the first time came and tested. Now, one of them was really a good match. The second time we did it twice. We had another 30 or 40 people that tested. It wasn't a match. And then sure enough, the right match came, but he heard about it from an event like this. So these events spread awareness. These type of events get people interested. These type of events motivate people to say, hey, maybe I could do this, or maybe I have a friend that's interested in helping to do something like this. Are there any questions anybody has? Somebody has them. Go ahead.
So you mentioned a match. I have two questions actually. First question is what function does the kidney serve in the body?
Okay.
The second question is, you mentioned match. What needs to match?
Okay, very good.
Blood type, what?
Two good questions. Okay, what does the kidney do? The kidney takes your blood, filters out the blood, works like a filtration system, and when a person goes to the restroom, goes to the bathroom, all the waste that comes out of your system goes through the kidney. So if your kidneys fail, that means you can no longer go to the bathroom. That's why you have to go on dialysis. Dialysis is a machine that's huge. It shows you what your kidney, this is your kidney, it's the size of the kidney, this small little thing. And we need a machine that's tremendous to do what this little thing does. But Hashem has created inside of us. We don't even know what we have. But the dialysis machine takes all your blood out of your system, takes out all the impurities, and then puts the blood back into your system. And you need to do that 3 times a week, 4 hours at a time. That's how long it takes to do that system, but we're able to do it automatically. So that's what the kidney does. The kidney is a filtration system. That's number one. What does it mean to match? The first thing that a person needs to do is to match the blood type. We all have different blood types. There's A, there's B, there's AB, and there's O. Those are the 4 different blood types. So the blood types must match. Once we get a proper blood type to match, then the next thing that needs to match is the tissue. We all have different tissue types. The tissue has to match. And then the third thing that needs to match is called the HLA. HLA are our antibodies. You might be a person that never gets a cold. Some people, you see, they get their sneezing all day long, every day they're sick, every day they have another problem. If you have antibodies that somebody else that doesn't have those same antibodies, or they match, that means if a kidney goes into that person, not me about business, but if a kidney goes into that person and the antibodies don't match one against the other, he's going to fight it off. No matter how much medication he takes, he's going to reject it, and the kidney's going to go into kidney failure within a few months. It'll be out. So all these things need to match up to make sure it's going to work. Good? Okay.
If a person wants to be a donor, and he has a precondition, maybe a heart problem or a cancer before, does that preclude him?
You have to be 2 years out of cancer, and if you had a heart problem and you had a stent, some hospitals are 6 months out from a stent, and other hospitals are a year, depending on the hospital. But if a person wanted to be a donor, and he had a stent 6 months ago, for example, and he wants to do it now, it fits his schedule to do it now, then we'll line him up with the hospital, and we'll do it within 6 months. Different hospitals have different regulations, what they follow, and we work with all the top hospitals in New York, all the top hospitals in America, from here, LA, Toronto, Florida, wherever we do with the transplants, Cleveland, we deal with the top hospitals, but we know which hospitals are high-risk hospitals that take a chance on an older person. Some hospitals won't do it. Most of the hospitals are based on statistics. They don't want to have a failure. A failure is a very bad mark on their report card, so to speak, what kind of funding that they get. So they don't want to take a chance. They won't take a chance on a 75-year-old man. Many hospitals say, we want to save the life. Give us the person, and we work with many, many different hospitals in New York. Anybody else? Yes, George.
Can a person be a donor if a parent was on dialysis or had kidney failure?
Probably would be ruled out. Well, really, I should say would be ruled out. Would definitely be under evaluation because it depends on why was the parent on dialysis. If the parent was on dialysis because of diabetes, there's a good chance that trait might run through to the child, and they're not going to put the donor at risk. The one thing that the hospital is very concerned about is the donor. They already have a sick patient. They already have the recipient. They don't want to have 2 sick patients. So the main concern is the donor. They want to make sure the donor is going to stay healthy. If they have a chance of putting the donor in danger, they actually pass the testing. So if we have an event, we had a young girl, a Muncie 20-year-old girl that needed a kidney. We had an event similar to this, and 357 people came forward to donate.
Wow.
That's amazing.
357 people. So now we have a pool of 357 people that we can work with, not only for her, but for other people. But between the 357, I say a lot of them were emotionally motivated from that day. Some of them fall out. I gave them thought, and I'm not really ready for it at this time. But a lot of them won't pass the testing. The testing is a very vigorous test to make sure that the donor is in tip-top condition. That's another thing that you should know. I was worried after I donated my kidney. I thought about it after the fact. I don't know why after the fact. About life insurance. Now am I going to? It's gonna be a hard time for me to get life insurance. Matter of fact, I was designated, not designated, but rated as a preferred A for the life insurance. They said if you're able to go through a kidney transplant, it means you're in good shape. I'm more than happy to write a policy. So I was rated as a preferred A for life insurance. So this is like that. Go ahead.
What about somebody has kidney stones or a history of kidney
No.
stones? Out.
You're out. They don't want your kidney stones on somebody else.
That's me.
What exactly are kidney stones?
Kidney stones are built up from a calcium buildup in the system.
The whole family has it.
Kidneys. Very, very good. First thing first. Yes.
Huh?
It's a very good question. We're all blessed, most of us I should say, are blessed with 2 kidneys.
I don't catch that.
We have 2 kidneys in our system. One kidney does 70% of the work, and the second kidney does 30% of the work. That's where your 2 kidneys work. Between them, they do 100% of the filtration system. When they take out a kidney and they give it to the recipient, they give the recipient usually the weaker kidney. They leave you with the stronger kidney. So the kidney that you have now, it's a muscle, and it's going to build up to start to do 100% of the work. And the kidney that the recipient has just received will also build up to, I guess, about an 85 to 90% capacity of what it could do as far as for him. But he'll be able to live a totally perfect life because of the fact he only needs 25% of the kidney to function. You have to know that when someone is on dialysis, or someone's suffering from kidney failure, they can't pick up a glass, they can't pick up this bottle and just drink it, because they'll retain that water. And if they don't go on dialysis, or if they're not able to urinate properly, that means that their body's going to get swollen with fluids, very, very, very painful. Their legs get big, huge, get very, very big, and it's very, very painful. They can't walk, they can't function, they're carrying around all this fluid with them, and unfortunately, someone that refuses to go on dialysis will end up passing away from his own fluids, building up in the system, he's going to explode. That's what's going to actually happen to the
Are
person.
kidneys more likely to match amongst close family members?
The best match would be a close family member, that's correct. Usually because they have the same DNA in the system. That's the reason for that. But it's not necessarily, I gave mine to an Ashkenaz guy in Queens, I didn't know who he was.
That's
But
amazing.
just somebody needed a kidney, so I had a chance to save someone's life.
Why'd you do it?
Why'd I do it? I don't have the book. Is it?
How'd you know to do it?
How'd I know?
I'm saying, how you didn't know the person.
Want to hear my story?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So there was a girl, a young girl in our community. We all know who she was. That passed away. Her name was Liniato, Stella Liniato. And we all know at the Top Gun tournaments they had the swabbing because they said, you know what, she died because we couldn't match bone marrow. And the Syrian community, our DNA is different than everybody else. We need to make our own bank. So we need to develop our own DNA bank. So I went to Top Gun tournament like everybody else. There's a table there. You want to swab? Yes, I swab like everybody else did. And sure enough, a few months later, I got a phone call that they had a match to meet with somebody with bone marrow would like to donate. I said, sure. Just tell me what does it entail? What do I have to do? They said, well, there's two different ways that they can do it. Either they put you on a machine, they take your blood out, and with the blood, they take out the bone marrow, then they put the blood back into your system. And the second way that they can do it is they can actually scrape the marrow off of your bone, and they can collect it that way. That's much more painful. The other way is a lot easier. I said, okay, I'll do the easy way. Thank you. So a few months passed, and they called me back. The recipient was not ready for the transplant because he got sick, and we're going to put you on hold. About 2 months later after that, I got a phone call from Renewal saying that we have a possible chance for a match for a kidney donation. Would you be interested in testing? I said, okay, sounds good. So they sent me a...
How'd they know you? From that?
That's a good question. So they sent me a blood kit. They sent me this. In the old days, before we did the swabs, we used to do it by blood. We used to have to go to LabCorp, go to one of these places, and you give them a kit. So they sent me a kit. I took the kit, I put it on my table, and I forgot about it. They called me up 2 weeks later. They said, you know, we sent you a blood kit. Did you get it? Did you ever go to LabCorp? Did you ever do the work? I said, no, I really forgot to do it. I'm going to go tomorrow. Sure enough, on Route 35, I went to LabCorp, did the blood. And they said, okay, looks like your blood looks good. The tissue looks good. You need to go through the physical with the hospital. I said, listen, I'm going to be in Florida in January. I have a bar mitzvah in March. Can I do it in February? Can I do this when the time works for me? Can I do it at this time? He said, any time that works for you will work for the recipient. He's happy to get the kidney. So I went for the entire physical. And sure enough, when you go through physical, you have to go through a psychological test. They want to make sure you're not a crazy person off the street. They want to give away your body parts. They want to make sure you're not getting paid. They asked me how much money you're getting paid, how much are you getting paid to do this. I said, I'm not getting paid anything. You know, why would you want to do it if you're not getting paid? I said, I'm going to get paid. You know, in the next world, God will pay me back. And I'm trying to explain about Al Haba and all these type of things to the ladies. She really didn't understand.
I thought you were crazy.
As a matter of fact, all the people that go through Renewal always have the same answers, Al Haba, and they stopped psychological testing, they really took it out of our group. They don't ask the questions anymore. But in any case, so she said, you know, why would you put your children at risk? I said, my children, what's wrong with my children? You know, your children, if they need a kidney, now you gave away your kidney, and you don't have one for your kids. Why would you want to do that to your kids? You're putting your kids at risk. I said, you know, I believe that God will take care of my kids. I have a chance now to help somebody. And I don't think that my kids are going to suffer. I'm not going to get punished that my kids are going to need a kidney because I gave my kidney away to somebody else. And she said, oh, that's a very good answer, very good. And somebody really tipped me off that they're going to try to talk me out of it. So I really know how to pretty much wiggle around the answers. So she said, what about your wife? Look at your wife. Your wife's sitting right here. Your wife is, you know, your wife's right here. How about her? I said, what about my wife? What if your wife needs your kidney? Now you gave your kidney away, you don't have one. So my wife, God bless, she says, I want him to do it. I'm behind him 100%. I want him to give away his kidney. It's okay, if you ever change your mind, she says, okay, you passed the test, but you should know you're doing this voluntary, and if you ever change your mind, you can back out at any time. Even on the way, on the gurney, on the way into the operating room, you want to back out, you say, I'm out, I decided I don't want to do it. You're doing this voluntary, you could just get up and walk away, it doesn't make a difference, you're not obligated to anybody. I said, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so then roll the clock forward to February 6th, which is the day that I donated my kidney. I was in the hospital, I never met the man like I told you before, and I was in the room, and this man walked in. See this guy here with the peyote right here? This guy walks into the room. He walks into the room, he's from Renewal, and I thought he was the clergy from the hospital. I never met anybody. I thought he was the clergy, and I thought he came to give me a bracha. I said, he's Ashkenaz. I said, oh, hi, Rabbi, you came to give me a bracha? And that's what he came before I go. He goes, no, I'm from Renewal. I said, oh, wow, thank you so much. He said, do you want to meet your recipient? I said, well, I can meet him? That'd be great, that'd be great. Bring him in, please, I'd like to meet him. So they brought the recipient into the room, I'd say just about where you're standing back there, and I was standing over here with my wife. And I said, Rabbi, you know, how'd you get me here anyway? Because, you know, you probably answered an ad, you're looking for a kidney, you probably went to, you probably answered an email. I said, no, I've never really heard of Renewal. You called me up that you possibility you might have a match. Because no, well, for sure, you probably heard somebody from the community that needed a kidney. I said, I don't know anybody from the community. Because you probably went onto a website. I said, I never knew you had a website. So the guy's hearing me talk, and he said, this guy's gonna BO for sure. This guy's. So I saw the guy start to sweat a little bit. I said, listen, his name is Mitch Bornstein. I said, Mitch, relax, I'm going to do it.
Right.
I just wanna know how they got me into the room. So he says, you know what, let me find out. Contacts the office. He said, all we have in the system is Aaron Gindi. We sent him a blood kit. We don't really know how we got into the system so much, how we got in here. We don't know. We see we sent him a blood kit. He matched, and he said he wants to do it. So they put it on a book. It's not one of these books here, but they have another book, the hardcover book that they have me. They call me the mystery donor. They don't know how I got into the system. But Baruch Hashem, I got into the system.
I think that's crazy.
And I was able to do it. So this guy, Mitch Bornstein from Queens, when he came out of recovery, when he came out of the recovery room, he was very, very groggy. And everybody wants to know how's the recipient doing, how's the donor doing. So he wakes up and he wants to know. He says, I just have one question. So his family was there, the rabbi was there. What's the question? Am I allowed to have rice on Passover now? You know, the rice doesn't go through the kidney inside, you still can't have rice on Passover. In any case, that's a story. You speak to all the kidney donors, everyone has a story. And the stories are really unbelievable, how people met. We've had people, I'll tell you one other cute story that happened, it's really amazing. We had a lady from Boston that needed a kidney. And we ran a whole program for her, similar to like this, in Boston. A program for her to find a donor. And sure enough, a lady came forward that she wants to be her donor. And we ran the test, and she did match. And we had someone in Lakewood that did match this lady. So we brought her in from Boston, and we had a donor from Lakewood. We put the transplant together. Perfect, very good. So the lady that matched up to this girl from Boston, she said, you know, I wanted to donate my kidney tonight, didn't match, but maybe I can go donate to somebody else. Can you find somebody that I can donate to? I really want to donate my kidney. So I said, listen, you're in Boston, it's not so easy to bring you in, we'll bring you in, whatever it is. Listen, whatever it takes, I want to do it. Find somebody for me. Sure enough, we found a man from Lakewood that needed a kidney. So you got the whole picture so far? We got
Yes.
Lakewood kidney, went to the lady from Boston. So now a guy from Lakewood needs a kidney. So we brought her in, they matched perfectly. We said, you want to meet the recipient? Of course, we cleared between the two of them. She says, of course, I'd love to meet him. We bring them into the room together, and they both literally almost fainted.
I knew
She
each
goes,
other.
this is the guy. I can't believe it. She goes, well, what's the story? Because he used to have a bookstore in Boston. I used to work for him 10 years ago. So this is my chance now to pay him back. He gave me my first job, and now I have a chance to pay him back. We just have stories, crazy stories like this happen all the time. People that come in from all over the place. But there's definitely hope for Uzi. We broke the 500 mark last summer, almost at 600 already. This year already we did 36 or 37 already this year, I'm not sure. We did 2 yesterday, supposed to have 2 today, we did 1 today. There's at the show, we're gonna have another one tomorrow. Some days we do 4 in one day, which is very, very hectic. And it's crazy, it is crazy. We don't know where all the people come from, but thank God we are an option for people. We give them hope, something that they never had before. Before, the only hope was a machine, and they knew that that machine was really a time machine. They had a certain amount of time that they could live on that machine. And Baruch Hashem, Renewal is here to help and save people's lives. And hopefully, someone in this room, if not someone in this room, you'll speak to other people, will come forward and be Uzi's donor. If it's not even his donor, they'll match up to somebody else, and we could form, we could do the swap, and we'll definitely get him a kidney, because this man is definitely in need. He's definitely in need, and he has the paranoia more than anything else, which is fearing, that fear of that machine is really scaring him more than anything else. And I try to speak to him often, and I tell him, he said, AJ, I'm not going on the machine. I'm telling you from now, I am not going on the machine. I am not going on. And I tell him, Uzi, you're going to do what you have to do to stay healthy until we can find the kidney. And I think he's been in the system how long now? Maybe not a year? No.
July I spoke to you.
In July?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a few more less than a year.
Yeah.
We get it done before a year.
Okay.
Is that
That's
before
sure.
a year? Any other questions about what it takes to be a kidney donor? Anybody want to know?
So you mentioned about if someone gives a kidney and they need a kidney, God forbid, they're at the top of the list.
Correct.
What if their kids need a kidney?
Then you won't go to the top of the national list, but we'll
Have some nice
For the
color.
kid.
we'll take care. Yeah.
For the
I mean,
kids.
you have some good people that you know. Let's put it that way.
Can
You don't want to be on the national list anyway. On our list, you're gonna get.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Yeah.
if a person gives a kid.
Yeah,
don't-
I can't say that you're on the top of the list, but I can tell you that you're with the right people.
Right.
Person's with the right people. We have never had a case yet where somebody gave away a kidney and somebody from their family now needed a kidney. Never happened. Never happened. And somebody needed a kidney. Yes.
Do you share your database with the national database also?
We had a case where we needed a kidney for a child. And we tested a lot of people. Had to be a lady, certain, physical build, she had to be a certain age. We could not find a kidney for the child, and we were given notice by his nephrologist, this 2-year-old child, that if we didn't find a kidney within the next 3 months, that the child was not going to be able to live anymore. And we contacted the NKF, the National Kidney Foundation. They had a kidney that matched his child. We got a kidney from them, but we had to give them one back. So one of the people that we tested said, you know what, take my kidney, give it to them. She didn't know where it was gonna go, but at least get a kidney for this child. So we do work with them with swaps. If we don't, we try to work within
So
ourselves.
is that what you do with, like, when you mentioned that if you, let's say I decide I wanna
No,
help
we'll work to
Lucy,
do a swap with our.
only within your group?
Yeah, within our group, yeah, only within our group. A major question is.
But if you have somebody in your group, how come we didn't get, Uzi a kidney yet?
Because it comes first come, first served. There are people that came before Uzi that are in our
Yeah,
system.
okay.
In our
Do
waiting
they
list.
have the same, they match the same way?
No, there's a 6-point system. Whoever matches the closest to the 6-point, if Uzi came, let's say Uzi came in on July 15th, let's say for example, and somebody came in on January 1st, 6 months before Uzi, but a kidney matches Uzi better than it matches the guy that came first, it's gonna go to him. But otherwise it comes first come, first served. Whenever I speak to people that they get calls, that someone in their family needs a kidney, the first thing I tell them is get registered. Because if you don't get registered now, someone's gonna get
Registered
registered.
with who?
before you.
Renewal?
With Renewal. Every week, 3 to 4 people every week come in that need kidneys. So there's a line.
So renewal
that's
is around the country, or it's
around the
just
country. Yeah, even Israel, they come from Israel.
And he started it?
No. And the guy started with one transplant 1 year. They did it backwards.
It's all Jewish?
All Jewish, yeah, all Jewish. Except for one guy now, we're working on now, that God only.
I'm saying the founder is
transplant.
Jewish.
Yeah, that one is. So people ask, do we get kidneys for Goyim? Do we help Goyim? Am I gonna get a Jewish kidney gonna go to a Goy? Nobody that's Jewish, we haven't had the case yet, has given their kidney to a Goy yet, but we had many Goyim that had given their kidneys to Jews. We had people that heard of our organization, and they wanna be donors, and they donated their kidneys, and we've helped them. We're working on someone right now, maybe you know who he is, his name is Ed Crankle. Have you heard of Ed Crankle?
Oh, from Jerry.
Very right. Ed Crankle needs a kidney in case you don't know it. And Ed Crankle tried everything possible until someone told him, why don't you just call these guys from Renewal? They help people get kidneys. So sure enough, Ed Crankle came into our office. He's a big guy, guy's a monster. You see him?
First baseman.
Huge, first baseman mess. He looks jaded up, big nose and everything. I knew he was jaded up. And he's actually a Roman Catholic, that's what he is. So Ed Crankle came into our office and he said, listen, everybody's telling me to come to you. I know I'm not Jewish, but my wife is Jewish. And that means my kids are Jewish and my grandchildren are Jewish.
Wow.
So maybe you can help me. So we, okay. Ed, hi Ed, how you doing? Oh, it's okay. So God willing, we ran a campaign for Ed and in his circles, and we vetted out all of the possible donors. And sure enough, Ed Crankle is at the Hashem. God willing is going to get transplanted at the end of this month. He's going to get transplanted. It's a tremendous Kiddush Hashem because this man had no luck, nowhere. He tried everything. He figured he's a baseball player, and if he could do anything,
And he was a vet.
he thought he could do anything. He even sold his groceries ring to try to get a kidney. But you have to know, the organization is really touching a lot of people. And it's helping many, many people throughout the world. And it's not only here, it's from overseas. People are coming from Argentina, Brazil, Canada. They're gonna find a way to get to us, and we're gonna find a way to help them, God willing. So, I hope you have education. There's books, and there's pamphlets on what it takes to be a kidney donor. We have some swab kits up here if anybody wants to try to swab and see what it's all about. And we'll definitely walk your hand. We'll hold your hand the whole way through. You have nothing to worry about. God willing, you'll be healthy. And B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to find kidney for Uzi, and he himself is going to be healthy as well, and be able to dance at his his children's weddings, his grandchildren's weddings, God willing, coming up in the future. You have to dance with them and be happy with them. B'ezrat Hashem. Amen.
AJ,
Yes.
if you already swabbed for the stellar vignado, are you in the system?
Two different things.
So it's not in the system?
Totally different. Totally different.
And what is the rejection rate?
They shared some information, so that's why.
Under 5%.
And then the recipient has to take steroids or something?
So it's on a program, anti-rejection medication.
Yeah.
Anti-rejection medication, yeah. All right, everybody want to form a line, single line, men to the left, women to the right, or?